after beating Canisius and Niagara on the Buffalo trip last month.
That guy's an okay coach.
He's all right.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Thrilled to have him here in Merrimack.
The tip is won by the Stags, and we're underway just after 3 p.m. here in North Andover.
A little matinee basketball here in North Andover. You love it.
Not many returning players in this roster. Braden Sparks right now. They continue to move it around. This is Bleachmore. Entry feed goes to Sparks, then back out. Bergens on the drive. Late find down low, and the layup was blown, and they're calling for the offensive interference, but not going to get it.
Oh my, that was an easy one. First of all, I thought the shot was going to go. And then the big fella down low, Munkati, definitely, John, got that in the cylinder. Boy, what a break for Fairfield early.
The freshman starting just the second game of his career will get credit with that early tip in, and very close to an offensive interference call. Here's Bud Clark, averaging better than 20 points per game at this point in the season. Spinning, pumping, and then doing what he does, and that little fadeaway on the baseline.
Well, they just isolated that entire side of the floor and said, go to work, young man, and took him a while, very patient. His footwork is elite for a diminutive player.
Yeah, the second 30-plus point game of his career out at Stanford on the California trip, and boy, we both were talking to one another. That might have been the best performance by a player in the Division I era from Merrimack.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that as we go forward. That was a special performance by the sophomore.
Here's a kick out. The three-point try from Bergens is no good. Rebound is deflected around and eventually tipped to Savage.
It's a good job by a lot of white jerseys getting to the glass. Even if you don't get it, John, get your hands on it and tip it to a teammate as they did right there.
Warriors starting five, the same group they've used in every game except for one. Brian Atumnu right on cue with the jam. He missed last game with food poisoning against St. Mary's. And now at the other end, looking for the answer, no good on the lob to the freshman Munkati.
That's a good look, and Fairfield doing a nice job after a make, John, running the floor and getting a good look. Munkati just missed the bunny at the rim.
Savage for Trumper. It was David Murray who took the spot of Atumnu, the lone player who started a game other than this group, and Savage with a knockdown. He's starting to feel it a little bit more. Comes in averaging 2.5 threes per game. You know what he does best, and knocks down his first try today.
He was 4 or 5 in their last time they took the floor out there in St. Mary's during their California trip, and you said it, he's starting to heat up. And again, you get into conference play, defenders get a little bit smaller, and Savage making things happen offensively.
Foot race for Clark, tries to draw the contact, but instead it'll be against him. The offensive foul is called. And making the call, one of our three officials, Adam Vandenberg. The other two, Rob Riley, the referee, and Evan Burrows, the other umpire.
Yeah, 50-50 call. I thought the defender in transition sold it. That being said, Bud's got to be careful with that offhand as you see Atumnu attack the rack on the right side.
This Fairfield team finished 14-6 last year in the MAC.
Only one guy really in the rotation returned this year.
Such is the way with college basketball. Here's Bergen's late find down to Johnson. It's no good. Offensive rebound, though, as we talked about. Johnson has it again. Bounce to Sparks. Splits through two defenders. Back to the corner with it. It's Bergens on the drive, looking for somewhere to go. Johnson, the cutter. Atumnu stays straight up defensively. Another offensive rebound by Munkati. Back out for the three, off the rim. And finally, Savage will run down a rebound dangerously, though, and then a foul on Johnson as the ball was thrown back in Beck's direction. That's one that Johnson probably would have liked to avoid.
Yeah, he's trying to reach in there and generate a steal. He got a pretty good piece of Becht, and he'll go to the bench. Here you see just trying to get that loose ball and whacked Matt Becht in the face, and just sort of in disbelief. The call looked pretty obvious from up here. As Evan Burrows said, that's enough. I've heard it, and he goes to the bench. As Johnson, I agree, that's sort of a silly foul. You don't want your best player to get one of those silly giveaways, John, 80 feet away from the opposite rim.
Becht also has had his moments starting to heat up a little bit from three-point range. Here's Clark trying to split through, back out to Beck. Trumper and Beck play the two-man game. Down to 5 to shoot. Trumper hop step, gets inside, finishes with the contact. And Sean Trumper will head to the line to look for the three-point play.
It's a terrific start for Merrimack here at home. Trumper on that left side, excuse me, on the left side there, little ghost screen action up high. Then Atumnu vacates the area and they just let him go to work. This is very interesting, John. We have not seen Merrimack typically isolate guys offensively. It's an offense that's predicated on movement and ball reversals, but so far we've seen Clark isolate, and that time it was just, hey, Sean, go use your height advantage. He pays dividends with a three-point play.
8-point lead right out of the gate for the Warriors. It's about 4 minutes in. It's a Fairfield team that does a good job of protecting the basketball, but obviously seeing a zone defense today that's different than any other. Here's Mankati inside. He's able to just finish off glass. 6'10" freshman using his size.
And I assume that's why he got the start, because of his size down low. Fairfield have done a very good job of getting the ball down low, John. They just have to take their time and finish, as Munkadi did right there.
It's only the second start for him as Savage tries again. He's dialed up 2 makes from downtown, and the lead is 9 now for the Warriors.
He plays with a different level of confidence here in Lawler, it seems. He really shoots it at a high clip here in North Andover.
Just the 4th time the Warriors have been home this year so far, their 14th game.
Poor scheduling. Cut those checks on the road.
Obviously, they had a lot of good opponents.
Yeah, financial opportunities as well.
Ended up with a quad 2 win in the mix during the non-conference portion of the schedule.
The only one for a MAC school at this point.
That was against Troy. Here's Trumper.
It's hard to believe because Mount St. Mary's knocked off Miami earlier this year, but not a quad 2 win right at this juncture.
Backed, quick catch and shoot in the corner, and he miscalculated that one.
It's not a bad look, though. Joey Gallo saying he wants Matt Beck to shoot those threes, consistently believes in him as a player, and certainly believes in his ability to shoot the ball.
Yeah, the way this roster is designed, it's obviously Bud running the show, but the 2 shooters and then the 2 bigs, Trumper could do a little bit of everything, and Itumnu is your paint protector as a traveling violation is called here against Noah Best. And the Warriors have a 13-4 lead here as we reach the first media timeout of this first half. Warriors in control early as we step away from Lawler.
You got the tickets?
Vivid Seats, the only ticket company in the game that rewards you for buying. From concerts to sports and everything in between. Vivid Seats, official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
Do you mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work, dedication.
I meant the Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that have to be
Bank guy.
Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
I chose Columbus State because I needed help with transitioning from the military world. My instructors gave me hands-on learning experiences and helped me find a trade that I love. Now, I've found my niche in an industry that's shaping the skyline of Columbus.
See what's new at Weight Watchers. The #1 doctor-recommended points program now offers access to GLP-1 medications.
Your prescription's on its way.
Our members lose 21% of their body weight. Sign up now at WeightWatchers.com.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength. Soldout.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the MAC. And Jersey Mike's proud supporter of MAC Sports, a sub above. Quick start for the Warriors. Couple knockdowns from deep for Savage. And points being spread around well. Fairfield a little bit jumbled here to start things. The traveling violation a moment ago on the turnover, but just 4 points in the first 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, we should at some point talk about the miscues they had on their way to the arena.
Yes.
Unfortunately, their bus from the hotel to Lawler broke down and they had to Uber it.
Yeah, North Andover. I can certainly sympathize with car troubles these days myself.
It's going around.
Had a little issue myself. Nice.
Fairfield's gone back to a matchup zone of their own out of the time out here, John.
Here's a meet into the game, and that ball goes through the hands of Murray. Kind of worked out, though. Right to Savage. Was that a hockey assist? Does he get an assist for that?
Does David Murray get a touch for that? Does he get an assist? Regardless, Devon on fire. He's got 3 triples already, John. Remember, Fairfield scored the first 2 of the game on that controversial basket interference. Since that time, 16-2 the run for the Warriors.
If Savage is going to knock down threes at any clip close to this, it's going to be a long day for the opposition. There's a lob up towards the net, just hits off the backboard. Leachmore does come down with it. Now Deion Perry into the game, a three-point try for him. One of the more highly thought of transfers into the program, starting to find his groove of late. Here is Bergens, and he hits the mid-range, the offensive rebounding and second chance, proving efficient that time, or proving effective that time.
And that's already the fourth offensive rebound of this first half for Fairfield. So that's something Merrimack's got cleaned out. Now, obviously, they've been able to withstand with a 10-point advantage, but they've got to make sure that it's tighter on that side. Again, it's tougher in this matchup zone. They're going to give up some, but you can't get dominated.
4 of 5 rebounds the offensive end. Here's Savage left wide open.
Jeez.
I don't know what you're doing if you're playing defense right there. Savage all alone. He's 4 for 4 from deep.
Yeah, I mean, you got to identify when a guy's got the hot hand, and Fairfield just not recognizing where number 5 in that white jersey is, and Savage with his 4th triple already.
Now Murray jumps one. Savage throws it ahead to Clark, who tipped it up to himself, and then before Perry could throw that off of Clark, he was on the line himself. Two number zeros in this matchup. Take another look here at the, I mean, nobody even close.
I mean, that's very simple. And again, that was in the face of that matchup zone. You got to identify. I'm fine with playing zone, obviously. Merrimack has done it extremely successfully under Joe Gallo. But you've got to identify where shooters are on the floor, and especially a guy who's going as well as Savage is.
Savage's season high was 23 at Troy, had 7 3-pointers in that game. Here's Clark in close. Does not matter who's on him. He's able to finish when he gets in like that.
He feels pretty comfortable. Deion Perry, a guy that's just about Bud's size, goes right down to the low block and finishes over him.
Two number zeros. The two of them are both honored in preseason MAC, with the preseason MAC team selection, excuse me. It was the second team selection for Perry, but had a good couple years at Loyola. I know you saw him a few times.
He's a very good scorer.
Ball in his hands here. Mid-range shot from Mancati, not the shot you want, but another offensive rebound.
Again, that's really keeping Fairfield in this game, John. I mean, they're down by 15, but it would be worse.
Perry steps into a 3, no good. Mancati again. Perry this time gets blocked, and then Murray comes down with it, and now gets it in the hands of Bud. A 15-point lead for the Warriors here.
And Malik Edmead's a really underrated defender. That was a really good closeout, and then he rises up, uses his long arms to get a piece of that shot by Perry.
Edmead is really carved out kind of a new role than you're used to seeing him play in. Here's Savage with a heat check. That time a little bit more contested in his first miss.
He was contending he was hit on the arm, and that was one of those, hey, I've earned this one, get it to the rim, see how good I'm going today.
Fairfield needs to start scoring, and that'll help. N1 on the floater there. Braden Sparks coming in, putting it in, and finishing even with the contact, so he'll have a chance for a 3-point play, but not before our second media break of this first half. Warriors with a comfortable lead early. Fairfield trying to get back in it, but Devon Savage, 4 made threes here in the first half.
For over 75 years, Merrimack has been on the rise. Innovating, growing, serving, and winning with unstoppable momentum. Join us, and we'll shape the future together. Together we can. Together we will. Together we rise.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Thanks for getting these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Warrior fans, your support at every level makes a difference for our student athletes and their teams. Make a gift today and support the next generation of Warriors.
It's always fun to see people realize they're on the Jumbotron here at Lawler, isn't it? It's a good shot. You know, obviously hybrid start time, 3 o'clock on a weekday. Didn't expect a full house, but decent crowd filing in here to, Lawler, and so far it's been a fun watch if you're a Merrimack fan.
Yeah, students still on break, and, as you said, a 3 p.m. start time on a Friday. There's people working. It might have been New Year's 2 days ago, but it's pretty good crowd here. That man right there, pretty good start as he gets a little bit of a breather here, but 4 made threes to start things. And, you and I have talked a lot this season, even on the road games, and it was very reminiscent of the way he started against Troy, where he just came out firing, ended up knocking out 7 threes in that game.
And remember, he was outstanding the trip to Buffalo, and Joey Gallo and his staff have constantly told us that once you get into MAC play and defenders aren't quite as long against a Stanford or a St. Mary's or a Rutgers, somebody that Merrimack has faced this year, they really felt good and want to make sure Devon wasn't losing his confidence and staying with the program and staying with the process, which he's done a very good job of.
You feel like Merrimack feels pretty good about the way things went in the non-conference portion of the schedule, as Mead's going to drive in here, pump fake from Etumnu. Dorset into the game for the first time. Here's Becht trying to size up his defender, gets inside on Bleachmore. Bounce one down to Etumnu, who gathers it, and then just a little bit too strong off the back iron.
Sort of disjointed there. Etumnu did a good job of relocating on Matt Becht's penetration. Unfortunately, John just couldn't finish with the left hand.
Perry running the show for the Stags. Bleachmore, that one ends up rolling over across the court, back to Perry for 3, no good. The rebound is knocked back to Bleachmore. Another offensive chance. Now Sek into the game for the first time, trying to step through. It's a good move, but good recovery defensively, and it will be an inbound underneath the basket.
Again, Fairfield getting what they want. They're getting second opportunities. They're getting the ball down low. Look, that's right there. That's got to be points. At the end of the day, just go catch and explode to the rim. You allow the dribble. You allow the defenders to recover. Just catch, go up and score.
Foul called on Etumnu as they were trying to feed it down to Barima Sek. And it will be an inbound coming.
Second guy has not played a lot of minutes this year, John, getting an opportunity. And again, I think Fairfield just looking for some consistency here in the early stages, just looking for guys to provide them with a bit of a spark.
Sek was a member of the team last year, spent 2 years at University of New Mexico to start his career. Senior.
Again, big body off their bench as well, trying to exploit that size down low against the zone.
Also out there for the first time, Michael Rogan. He takes a shot here from the corner, no good. And then Sparks, hope he's okay. It looks like he is, but caught that kind of awkwardly, was still trying to throw it back in, but was already out of bounds by the time he caught it.
Yeah, he's contending he was pushed and was waiting for the whistle to be blown. Fortunately for the junior, it never came.
Merrimack now scoreless themselves over the last 2.5 minutes, but a quick start to this game. Still a very healthy lead on the board. Clark.
New shoes for Bud, it appears down there, my friend.
Home conference opener, got to break out the new Christmas gifts, I guess. 15 days off between games for the Warriors. Here's Etumnu gathering, and off the glass he goes. Brian Etumnu mentioned he missed last game, had the food poisoning out in Cali, but back out there today.
A good gather there and a good finish, using his length there to sort of find his way around those Fairfield defenders.
Fairfield does find an open 3 from Sparks up top, can't finish, but Sek comes down with it, and he lays it in through contact. And Barima Sek will have a chance for a 3-point play. And you said it a few moments ago, but his offensive rebounding is keeping Fairfield in the game.
It's really the only thing they're doing well. They've got 9 offensive rebounds, John, in not yet 11 minutes of real time of basketball. And we talked about, listen, they average better than 13 per game. Chris Casey told us that is something we work on. That's something we preach. We work on that in practice, going to get the ball off of our own misses. And Merrimack, yes, they're accustomed to giving up offensive rebounds. Joey Gallo said we're going to get out-rebounded because we play this zone. And it can be a +5 in terms of the rebound. But right now, they're dominating the offensive glass. And, they're hanging around just simply because of their effort and their energy on that side.
Trying to bring a double on Bud. He's just going to sprint down the floor. leaves a bevy of shooters open for three. Trumper was the closest. He's off the mark. Checking in at the last whistle for the first time was Kyle Jenkins, 4 years at Lafayette for him. 8th appearance of the season.
He's a really skilled player. I've seen him a handful of times as well. He's not flashy, but he's very steady.
Perry, no-look feed down to Sek. Goes to work on Itumnu. Back out to Rogan. Perry penetrating inside. Wild-looking attempt as he was hanging around midair for a moment. Itumnu came down with the miss.
Perry 0 for 5 thus far. Just can't find it as of yet.
Clark gets in amongst the trees. Can't finish. But the rebound goes off the leg of one of the Stags, so it will stay with the Warriors.
It's frustrating for Fairfield. You got 4 red jerseys underneath. Bud Clark, the only Merrimack player. You get a chance off the glass, grab a defensive rebound, you get a stop, you're going the other way. Instead, you sort of fight for it, fumble it out of bounds. Merrimack retains the possession.
Savage back out on the floor for Dorsett. Trumper goes to work here on Jenkins. Trumper makes a nice move, reverse, off the glass he goes. John Trumper's got 5 here in the first half.
Merrimack's having a lot of success in the paint. They're getting the ball right to the front of the rim, John. And Fairfield not displacing them. They've got to find them get away because of Itumnu and Trumper getting anywhere they want on the floor offensively.
Jenkins sets the screen for Perry. Now it's Sek again. Sparks gets himself stuck. Able to get that ball to Perry. Shot clock down to 1, got to get it up, and off the window goes Michael Rogan at the last second. Redshirt sophomore finds himself a basket.
The upstate New York product, guy I've seen play at high school actually a handful of times. Really talented player, really skilled. That one though, if you're Merrimack, all right, tip your cap, guy made a good shot. That's a good defensive possession. Sometimes guys just make shots. Rogan got a little lucky there with the floater in the paint.
Here's Bud using Itumnu up top. Clark behind the back, working on Perry, and gets hit as he was going up. Elbow jumper right at the free throw line. So Clark will have a couple free throws upcoming. Warriors have continued to lead here throughout the first half. Fairfield trying to chip away, but still an 11-point deficit as we head to the 7:07 at the 7:07 mark to a break.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
Do you mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work, dedication.
I'm the Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that'd have to be
bank guy.
Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
Mufasa the Lion King is the #1 movie in the world 2 weeks in a row.
I like that.
It's a dazzling prequel for the whole family.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That roars to life with fun.
Well played, kitty cat.
Disney's Mufasa the Lion King.
That looks good.
Rated PG.
Why would I use Hims to have my ED meds delivered to my door? I love pharmacy lines.
Why would I use clinically proven ingredients to regrow my hair through Hims? I love wearing hats 24/7.
Why would I choose weight loss treatment I can afford through Hims? I love selling off my prized possessions.
Why wouldn't I get high quality care I can trust? I love Hims.
Get treatment you'll actually love at hims.com.
Okay, I'm gonna help you clean, all right?
Got it. It's tasty. You're not gonna taste it?
Did you know that Merrimack is one of the fastest growing Catholic educational institutions in the country with more than 5,700 students, over 160 undergraduate and 50 master's programs? It's a great time to be a Warrior. Learn more at merrimack.edu/admission.
I'll tell you, this campus, John, pulling in today, they got more buildings going up. They're doing some good stuff. They're building some new residence halls. They're making a new fitness center I saw. And it's good time to be a Warrior, as it says.
They got to make sure they keep getting the compliments from you and Isaiah on the football broadcast about how everything feels new every year.
It's amazing. I mean, I remember, I mean, I'm old, but I remember this place when it was a sort of a small, homey, little, cute Catholic institution, and now it's a different beast, man. They've really embraced athletics to take the academic profile of the institution to another level. It's a real success story.
Yeah, and for you and I have both been calling games here, and obviously you've been involved in a lot of ways over the years, Danny 10, but it's great to see, honestly. It's awesome to see where we started, where I started here, and where we are now.
Even, I mean, our new conference home opener today, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of indicative of everything as well.
Savage knew he missed an opportunity that time. Ball goes through his hands, trying to backdoor cut to the basket that time. Still a comfortable lead for the Warriors here in the first half.
Yeah, just their second turnover for Merrimack, 2 versus 6 assists. So I think if you're Joe Gallo and the Merrimack staff, you love that assist-to-turnover ratio. And on the flip side, Fairfield just 1 assist thus far. John, they're 0 of 8 from distance here in the first half.
And the nation, both of these teams are okay when it comes to assist-turnover ratio, but Fairfield's been elite this year. It's not been the case so far. Here's Bud all the way. Clark exploding to the basket, coast to coast.
That's an elite play there, finishing with the left hand, and Bud Clark just getting all the way to the rim. You say, how does he do it? It's just because he's got such a variety of ways to finish around the rim. I'm not going to say the Kyrie analogy is fair, but his ability to finish for a diminutive player reminds you of a guy like that.
Good feed late there from Jenkins to Sek, and Sek does the rest, and then a takeaway on the inbound from Bergens. And now here's Sparks on the drive, gets in towards Trumper, and he'll be fouled. So a turnover there for the Warriors, and a chance for Fairfield to make up a few of these points here. Here's another look at Bud.
I mean, this is what he does best, and this is what makes him so challenging, because you've got to find a way to stop the ball. All right, got by Bergens right there with the left hand, and then late where the rotation is Sek, and by the time he comes over, yes, he's 6'10", but Bud's got him on his hip and uses his left hand to finish around him. And you saw earlier, they've double-teamed him, they've played him straight up. You know, he's just so talented and so skilled. He really presents a lot of challenges to opposing defenses.
Yeah, he had a look on his face afterwards, too. Like, you got to give me something better than that.
It's weird that Prophet Johnson got that early foul. He finally just returned to the floor, John. He has been a lot of times. You look at Braden Sparks, the talented junior from Georgia, transfer from Indian Hills Community College, and he's done some good things for them. He's provided them with good life thus far.
It's interesting when you look at the minutes on this team this year. There's been a lot of minutes spread around. I think they're still trying to figure out exactly the right combinations. But Johnson has been one of their best, if not their best player at both ends of the floor consistently. He's only playing about 27 minutes a game. It's a fair amount, but not necessarily amongst the conference's leaders.
No, and Chris Casey said, you know, we're still trying to figure out our right rotations and personnel groupings. When we spoke with him earlier this week, he was pretty honest about that. And again, that's a byproduct of all those new faces entering the program for the first year.
11-point lead for the Warriors. 5 minutes to go here in the first half, and an offensive foul will be called here against Fairfield, so the ball will go back to the Warriors.
Yeah, Peyton Smith for a little legal screen up top as he sort of tried to do that wide receiver, you know, sort of screen action where you just sort of run into the guy and say, no, I was just on my way to the basket. The official right there all over it, Rob Riley, had the call, and I thought it was a good one.
I've seen 11 players for Fairfield. The usual 9 out there for the Warriors so far. Here's Edmead inside. Edmead gets all the way in and just finger rolls it in.
You get the sense that he's beginning to really believe in his game at both ends of the floor. And he's that vital cog off the bench for this Merrimack backcourt.
It's a guy who had a 23-point game as a freshman here at Merrimack, and obviously went to Albany, comes back injured, but really starting to find a groove of late in a newer role than he was used to. Sparks will get this one over to Smith. Smith with a mid-range on the baseline. He 2-2 grabs the miss.
That's exactly the shot the Merrimack wants, right? Contested long 2 from the opposition, and get the defensive rebound. That's a very good defensive possession. Chance for the Warriors to add on to their 13-point lead.
And buy a couple minutes here for Bud Clark to get a rest. Sitting right now, here's Becht. Plintowskis with a feed into Trumper. Trumper one dribble, tough take. And it was good defense there from Smith. Also a tough angle for Trumper.
Very good post defense there by Smith. He did a good job there to use his lateral quickness to prevent that shot.
Bergens lines up a 3-pointer, no good. Trumper grabs it. We're under the 4-minute mark here. 13-point lead for Merrimack. And a timeout called by Joe Gallo. We have 3:48 to go. We'll step away from North Andover. Final media timeout of the first half. Warriors in control early.
This is a story about strength. It wakes up early in the morning, stays up late, moves mountains, and travels the world. It makes adventure and hard work possible. Strength delivers food to tables, packages to doorsteps, products to stores, and kids to practice. It shows up everywhere you show up. Hercules tires are built for almost every driver and every vehicle. Find the right Hercules for your story and let our strength drive yours.
The tradespeople in our lives power the things we use in our home every day. At 128, we know how important it is to have your lights on, hot water in the shower, heat in the winter, and air conditioning in the summer. Our team of professionals is here to rely on. Plug into our membership for priority scheduling, smart home, remote monitoring, and of course, our seasonal maintenance. We'd love to be the company that powers your home. Book with us today at call128.com.
It's a good day to show off your swing all year long. It's a good day for a very special event. It's a good day to savor the moment. Join as a member or book your event at Haverhill Country Club and make any day a good day.
Merrimack with a 13-point lead here in the first half. John Avino, Jacob Van Ryn with you on this Friday, January 3rd. How's your New Year? So far, so good. It's at a wedding on New Year's Eve, so I didn't have to think of plans. They were kind of built in for me, which is good. Structure in life is always good, right? There's been structure here so far. That man right there gave them the early lift, 4 made threes, and seemingly just a few minutes of action.
What a seamless transition that was. That was really well done, my
That's
friends.
why they pay me the big bucks, as they say.
The moderate amount of money you get paid to do these games.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's great. We're thrilled to be here. It's awesome to see Merrimack, entering the MAC, and so far, obviously 2-0. Their third conference game. You said a lot more home games here in the second semester because of the schedule in the non-conference that they played this far.
Yeah, they played 2 games on the road already, so of their 18 remaining games, 10 of them will be here at home. Here's Mead off the dribble, trying to make something happen on the mid-range, no good.
There's good defensive possession that time by Fairfield. Good job on the show and the recovery and the screen, and Johnson with another rebound for the Stags.
Bounce down low for Smith and poke from behind by Mead. Murray nearly had it. Now Clark trying to scamper to it. Smith did a good job of actually hanging on to it for a while. And now ahead for AP. Plintowskis, maybe a little bit of block from Bleachmore and a little bit from the rim.
I thought Bleachmore got a piece of that to alter the shot, if nothing else. Yikes.
And then a push on Smith here. The whistle will bring what was a hectic few seconds to a halt.
Bud just ripped that ball away from Smith. I was like,
I'll take the steal.
It's like the older brother. My goodness. I think he got a piece of it. I'm going to say he did. I'm not going to say AP got blocked by the rim. And then Merrimack getting good looks in transition, even though the shot doesn't go.
Bleachmore was officially credited for the block. He'll be happy to know.
Thank goodness. Now I'll be able to sleep tonight. Good for Louis.
Sparks in the corner on the drive now. Gets in on Etumnu. No opportunity. Back over to Sparks now. Now he floats one up. And it finds a soft touchdown.
It's a really tough shot. And Sparks has played well. He's been good for them thus far, John. He's got 7 here in the first half to lead them offensively.
Guy who started at Mercer a couple years ago, started his career at Mercer, and then last year was at Indian Hills Community College, where he was part of a team that had a great season.
That's a big-time program, too.
Clark lobs one up to Etumnu. The two of them on the same page. And the Warriors' lead stays steady right around this 11 or 13-point mark.
Again, you allow Bud Clark to get downhill, put pressure on your defense. More often than not, Merrimack's going to have success.
Etumnu will be whistled here for his second foul with 2:13 left in the half.
A lot of coaches around this conference watching, thinking about how you defend against Bud Clark. Here's just a little high ball, little ghost screen action from Etumnu, and secondary defender Smith has to step up because Bud Clark gets in the paint, nobody on the backside, and Bud just throws it up and lets Brian go get it.
Drawing the attention of 3 defenders on that drive there was Clark. Sparks at the line here and knocks down the first of a 1-and-1.
He's been undoubtedly their best player here in the first 20. I've been impressed with his ability to get to his spots on the floor, and interestingly, we talked about Johnson coming in. He's really not looked to assert himself offensively. Just a couple of rebounds here for Prophet Johnson. They need more. And that being said, they got nothing from Deion Perry. When you're looking for combinations, guys that provide scoring punch, got to find a way to get them going.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising Perry has not been more of a factor for them this year. He averaged 17 points per game last year in his second year at Loyola. But obviously coming together in such a big group of new players, there's been a lot of that, trying to figure out roles, and Meade is left all alone for three. Just his 6th attempt of the year, he knocks down his 3rd three-pointer of the season.
And again, he's not a high-volume three-point shooter, but you give him that kind of look, he's going to make it. And again, another defensive breakdown from Fairfield.
It's like a shoot-around there as Clark tips this one. He thought maybe he was able to tip it off of Sparks, but we'll stay with Fairfield. 19 to shoot for the Stags.
If you're Fairfield, I think it's a pretty key 2-minute stretch. You see Bud, outstanding swing with the left hand there, just putting the ball to his backcourt running mate in Meade on a platter to tee it up. I think if you're Fairfield, you're not going to race, obviously a double-digit deficit, but they need something good to happen in the last couple minutes. Get this lead down to 9 or 10, carry some momentum into the break.
Oh, that's one of your least favorite calls in the sport there. How is Sek on the line?
It's not my least favorite call. It's my least favorite thing a student athlete does. You've got to know where you are on the floor.
That's what I meant to say.
At the end of the day, I know it's different. I know you're playing on a hockey rink here at Lawler, but you got to recognize where you are on the floor. You cannot be standing on the line when you touch the basketball.
So a turnover there. That's the 8th of the first half.
You'll be glad to know that that happened the other day. But you take away this dunk.
Take away, and Trumper at the other end does commit the foul in transition. Bleachmore is able to finish with the continuation, and that is a break that you need right there for the Stags.
And that's exactly what Fairfield needs, right? They get a takeaway, but a little sloppy as it bounce away. Second comes away with it, advances ahead, and Bleachmore's been a non-factor. I don't know if there was a foul there. Regardless, Trumper put himself in a spot where it looked like he might have reached in and gotten a piece of the Australian on his way to the rim, and the chance for 3 here to make this an 11-point contest.
Bleachmore has not attempted a traditional three-pointer yet, but this year he's shooting 49% from deep, best in a conference for any qualifying shooter.
It's amazing he hasn't found shots either. I mean, right? You got a guy that's just a tick under 50% from distance, 40 attempts coming in, about 3 per game. He hasn't even looked at it in the half court.
It's interesting, the lack of attempts for a guy shooting at such a good percentage. Here's Clark stepping back to a 3. No good. The rebound tipped.
And now here you go. If you're Fairfield, a chance to make this a 10-point game. Obviously, 3 brings it to single digits.
It's Sparks. 9 points here in the first half. Swings it over to Bergens, now back to Sparks.
They gotta get somebody at the high post.
Bergens this time swings it the other direction to Johnson. Lost it after it got back in the hands of Bergen. Here's Clark with a clear path down the floor the other way, but Johnson from behind, and they're going to call the goaltending there.
That was very close. Prophet Johnson showing his athleticism, wiping that shot away, but they say the ball did get to the backboard first. Good takeaway there. Becton Clark combination, and then I thought it got to the backboard. That was close though.
Final half minute of this first half.
Again, everything's on the perimeter here against this matchup zone. This is exactly what Merrimack wants you to do. You've got to get the ball inside, in the interior.
I'm not sure winding the shot clock will do Fairfield any good here. Johnson now interior feed for Sek. Sek with a hook, no good. And the rebound grab by Trumper. Plenty of time for the Warriors here.
And again, they had an opportunity. Fortunately for them, it goes awry, and now a chance for Merrimack to tack on to their lead.
Clark explodes inside, now fades away at the free throw line. He's just off the mark. Last second heave here from Fairfield will come up short. And we reach the halftime break.
Merrimack does a very good job of controlling tempo, limiting possessions. So when you're down by double digits, it just feels a little bit larger than it actually is. Early stages of the second half, if Fairfield to come from behind, they got to make a push pretty early.
Warriors begin with the second half possession here. Brian Etumnu up at the top, waits for some help. Guarded by Mancati. Back in the hands of Clark, under 10 to shoot. Clark on the drive, switches directions, pumps, goes straight up with some defense there, and could not finish.
That's a good defensive possession to start the second half, and I'll see if they can capitalize. And on the other end, Merrimack get organized defensively and just continue to do what you did during the first 20.
into Johnson, and he makes his presence known here early in the second half. His first points, just his third field goal attempt of the afternoon.
And finally, their leading scorer gets on the board with points, and this is the effort we thought we might see from Fairfield earlier here this afternoon, and now maybe they're going on the flip side now for Merrimack. Listen, you know, you got to take care of the basketball and get downhill.
Clark with a quick feed in to Itumnu, a foul on the way by there by Sparks. Sparks had the best first half scoring-wise of any Stag out there, 9 points. He made 5 free throws as well. He's a guy who has a couple of good efforts this year, had 17 points against Georgetown, 16 against Mount St. Mary's, and against Monmouth. Trumper backing down Bleachmore off the mark and trying to get his own rebound, but then came in pretty hot on Sparks. And the ball will stay with the Warriors. The call was out on Sparks.
Yeah, shot not hit the rim, so 10 on the shot clock for the Warriors. Bud usually when he inbounds here, see if he rubs into Trumper and gets it back and try to play a little two-man game on that side of the floor.
Under 10, handoff to Clark. My partner was correct on the inbound play, but then the ball gets tipped away and off of Itumnu last.
Yeah, and this is a good start for Fairfield. Joey Gallo over there on that Merrimack sideline saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. Merrimack a little disjointed here to start the second half. See if Joey uses a timeout here early in the second stanza if Fairfield gets a basket here. As a look at the leader on that Merrimack sideline, has done such an outstanding job in transitioning this program from Division II to Division I and now here into the MAC, where they were picked to finish 6th, John, and on the verge of going 3-0.
He's closing in on 150 wins during his time at Merrimack as well, covering all the years, Division II and Division I. Here's Mancotti again, going to work on Savage, has a little bit of a size mismatch this time, and he'll draw the foul on Devon. Head to the line.
And finally, you see some Fairfield guys up off the bench, and my guess is that Chris Casey really read them the riot act at the break and said, guys, listen, we're not going down without a fight. You know, we're going to compete, we're going to play hard, and Mancotti just a good job with his back to the basket. A little drop step there, as you said, had about 4 or 5 inches on Devon Savage, who was guarding him down on that side, and just went to work in order to trip to the line.
Just starting his second game of his young career, 14th game overall. He's played in every one of them this year. Freshman from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And he's actually having one of his better games of his young career as well. 5 points here.
17 minutes in their loss against Columbia in their last outing, and 2 points and a pair of rebounds. The Bridgeport Prep product, and not that far away from Fairfield University. Stayed close to where he attended prep school, and certainly Fairfield glad to have him. Nice big body for them.
Clark gets inside, finds Itumnu, who popped himself free. Trumper puts it on the floor now to Beck. Savage catch and shoot on the wing and pours one in. Picking up where he left off after a hot start to this game. It had been a while between made field goals just because he made 4 right away. But another knockdown.
That's such a shooter's touch, the way the ball just crawls over the front of the rim from distance. Really says a lot about his stroke.
Trumper jumps the route this time. Beck, one more. Savage again. Devon Savage, have yourself an afternoon. Timeout, Chris Casey. 6 made 3-pointers, 18 points for Devon Savage. And just like he did in the first half, giving the Warriors a lead from deep.
Is it time to bring your company event to the next level? It's time to enter the Clubhouse. For your business meeting, we have 2 14-foot HD projection screens for your presentations. For team building, our game room features something for everyone. With 10 world-class golf simulators, everyone can get involved playing some of the world's best courses. The Clubhouse also offers a full bar with 14 beers on tap. Bring your event to the next level at the Clubhouse Golf and Entertainment. Visit clubhousege.com to learn more.
We say, because it's not just the policy, it's the people. What does that mean? It means you're working with a highly specialized team that understands the risks you face at the office, on the road, and at home. We're the team that cares about the community you live, work, and play in. No matter where life takes you, we're there to help protect your property, your business, and your people. Visit fredcchurch.com because you deserve more than just a policy.
Stooks is going to penetrate. Dish to Washington. He throws it down with authority. And the Tigers once again roaring as the top team in the CAA.
1 minute left. Carter throwing, end zone, Spence, touchdown! Unbelievable!
Through all the hard days and all the scary stuff. Through all the tears and moments. We'll always have our team behind us. Team Impact places kids with serious illness and disabilities on college sports teams. With athletes who support and inspire us. While we do the same for them. 1, 2, 3. All in, all together. Woo! Team Impact, all in, all together.
Devon Savage with a couple of made threes, doing exactly what he did early in this game. He knocked down 4 to start, and then he did miss 1. Okay, every great shooter is going to miss a couple over the court, but then 2 more.
Pulled a scholarship after that 1 miss.
6 of 7.
Oh man, he's been terrific today. And what I love is Matt Becht in transition there, recognizing that Devon had made the previous one. Becht could have easily, listen, he got the advance. He could have probably caught and fired at the rim. He recognized, hey, I've got Devon running with me. Let's feed the hot hand, and it paid dividends with a 3. And just like that, the lead, which was cut for a moment, balloons to the largest of the game at 17.
See what the Stags have for an answer after Chris Casey's timeout. A kickball violation here as Johnson was trying to bounce one down low.
That's exactly how they teach to play this zone. They allow that touch in the high post, but after that, they identify and match up defensive with everybody around.
That one tipped right back into the hands of Bergens. Back out for the 3-point try, no good. And Trumper wrestles away the rebound. Fairfield now 0 for 10 from deep in this game.
Yeah, they're not a great three-point shooting team as a unit, just over 32% on the year, but 0 for 10 in this day and age. Listen, it's such a part of the game. You got to make a couple on the way.
That one saved, but thrown right back into Clark. Becht and Savage playing catch, and now back up top to Clark, who blows right by the D, throws it up, and Itumnu not able to come down with it, but ball back in the hands of Clark. Now he's got the mismatch with Mancati on him, calls for the ISO, blows right by him, and able to finish. No problem for Bud.
Remarkable, and it's amazing there was no help defender on that weak side. I mean, listen, everybody in the gym knew what Bud was going to do when he dribbled that ball back out onto the perimeter. Said, I got the big fella, I mean, I can go right by him with the bounce, and he did just that.
Bleachmore tries a 3 from the parking lot, no good. Offensive rebound, blocked by Itumnu on the drive from Sparks, but Johnson there to clean it up.
Huge basket there for Johnson. You say huge, what do you mean it's huge? Well, finally he gets going a little bit. You can see him get going on the offensive glass. That's where he's at his best, and Fairfield now getting better possessions over the last couple minutes to try to find their way back into this contest. This is where you see Johnson right there, number 16, just hanging around. You see him right there run to the front of the rim, and that's what they do best. They go gritted off those misses.
Itumnu, one of the best in the nation when it comes to blocking. With 15:55 to go, 17-point lead for the Warriors.
Hi, you might know me from my other job, but I'm a business owner too. Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the Capital One Venture X business card. With no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to meet our business needs. Love it. And unlimited double miles means we earn more too. Sweet, right? And when we travel, we get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. I could get used to this. The Capital One Venture X business card. What's in your wallet?
Why would I use Hims to have my ED meds delivered to my door? I love pharmacy lines.
Why would I use clinically proven ingredients to regrow my hair through Hims? I love wearing hats 24/7.
Why would I choose weight loss treatment I can afford through Hims? I love selling off my prized possessions.
Why wouldn't I get high quality care I can trust? I love Hims.
Get treatment you'll actually love at hims.com.
Enjoy.
Stuffed crust, buttery garlic spread. Little Caesars really stepped it up with their stuffed crazy crust.
They really jazzed it up. Yeah! They really plussed this crust up.
They really dolled it up.
Everyone out my house. How did y'all even get in here?
The housekeeper gave me a key.
Order stuffed Crazy Crust for $9.49 and get your game day delivered with Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza. Okay, I'm gonna help you clean, all right?
Got it. It's tasty. You're not gonna taste it?
Oh, the ever-hydrated Joe Gallo over there on the bench. Looking good as usual and trying to guide his team to a 3-0 start in the Mac era. Mentioned earlier that closing in 150 wins for his total time at Merrimack, 148 of them currently, if my math is correct. Which it could be off.
Seems iffy at best, if we're being honest.
Okay. Well, I could be mixing up D1 and all these other things, but
you're better than that, my friend. No excuses.
Regardless, has been a great coach during his time, the alum.
Yeah, he's done sensational things with this program.
Oh, Bud Clark almost finishing on what would have been a beautiful crossover, had the bench off their feet. Transition 3 opportunity for Sparks, and he knocks it down. That was a big knockdown to get the lead back to 14.
And finally, they make a three-point shot. Fairfield a little momentum after the Bud missed opportunity at the rim, and they turned it into points the other way.
Tumnu. Now Becht trying to dribble himself to a free shot, and he does. Matt Becht's first knockdown of the game.
If he can become what he did now, he's not going to shoot what he did last year at Southern New Hampshire just because of the length and the size and whatnot, but if he can become as good a shooter as we think as he is in conference play, you touched on earlier, the roster construction for Merrimack this year is really, really good.
Yeah, I think you and I both like not only the starting 5, but the depth they have coming off the bench, and the players that did come into the program this year have been perfect additions. Oh, what a block by Tumnu late on Rogan's drive. It ends up in the hands once again of Fairfield. Sparks with 10 to shoot, working around a screen from Bleachmore. Sidestepping 3 that time from Reek is no good, and the rebound grab by Savage.
That's the shot you wanted from Reek, trying to make his presence felt off the bench, and now Merrimack's there. All right, up by 17, and again, this is where they're just going to bleed clock. If a good opportunity presents itself, take it.
Well, speaking of good opportunity, a wide open 3 for Devon Savage, who matches a career best with 7 made three-pointers.
That's NBA action right there. Bud Clark, high ball down to the right side, and just pitching opposite, knowing without even looking where Savage was going to be on that hammer action.
Just the 4th 20-point game of Devon Savage's career, his 2nd of the season. And they just have left him open for a lot of these. Here's Reek, another 3, and this one is long and missed everything. 20 attempts for him from deep now on the season, 5 makes for the redshirt freshman from Rochester, Minnesota. Devon Savage with 7 made threes after this latest one.
I mean, just a little rub screen from Trumper, and you see on that weak side just that action, and the pass from Bud Clark. I mean, listen, Savage gets credit for the points, awesome, great to see, but him putting it right where he needs to for Savage just catch right in the shooter's pocket is really elite.
You have a feeling Clark has been eyeing Savage the whole game with the way he's putting the ball in the basket tonight. This time Clark gets stripped. Perry in transition. Good transition defense from the Warriors. Bleachmore will bounce one into Perry at the free throw line. He Tumnu in front of him. And Meade helps as well defensively. Here's Rogan into the painted area. Out to Reek. Reek hop step down to Sek, who gets blocked there late. Savage almost saved it, was on the line.
What a play defensively by Devon, though. I mean, that's a really good rotation there to negate this point-blank opportunity. Look where he is. He's up at that elbow, extended to close out on the shooter. Now he sprints back to the end line and gets a piece of it to prevent a sure 2 for the Stags. That's good stuff from Savage defensively.
He actually wasn't still on the line. He just hadn't reestablished himself inbounds and then landed out again after throwing it. Here's Reek, another tough look. This time he does put it in on the mid-range. He's taking the last 3 shots for Fairfield, and the 3rd time's the charm.
Had to get one to the rim with a shot clock under 5, and very tough shot. Again, Merrimack say, yep, tip your cap, well done, my friend, and that's a win for us defensively. We're not going to fall in love with the results. It's the process that gets us there, and that's a good defensive possession for the Warriors. Guys make shots.
That's still an 18-point lead. Merrimack seeing little resistance throughout as Meade will draw the foul.
I'll say this. This team, all right, we still got 12-plus minutes left. Couple of wins in Buffalo. I know, listen, Canisius Niagara, still a difficult trip. 2-0, chance to go 3-0 here as you look forward to what's coming for Merrimack on the horizon. They'll head to Sacred Heart a week from today, return home to take on Manhattan on the following Sunday. And there's a lot to be excited about for a team that was picked to finish 6th in the preseason poll, John.
Yeah, they are, I think, putting everybody on notice in these early games. And Meade with a beautiful find of Murray. Took a moment to gather it, but then put it right up and in.
I don't know how Meade got that ball through there.
And then a tip away, but recovered by Rogan. Bleachmore trying to find somewhere to go with it, and it's knocked again by Meade. And Meade, the whole floor in front of him, and the bench was looking for the dunk, but he lays it in off the finger roll.
Yeah, he's going to hear about that. Devon Savage over there going to give him a hard time as Fairfield uses the timeout.
Timeout Stags. It is all Warriors. 22-point lead. Malik and Meade getting it done defensively, and with a beautiful finger roll as Bud Clark holds off the defenders behind.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
Why would I use Hims to have my ED meds delivered to my door? I love pharmacy lines.
Why would I use clinically proven ingredients to regrow my hair through Hims? I love wearing hats 24/7.
Why would I choose weight loss treatment I can afford through Hims? I love selling off my prized possessions.
Why wouldn't I get high quality care I can trust? I love Hims.
Get treatment you'll actually love at hims.com.
Okay, I'm gonna help you clean it, all right?
Got it. It's tasty. You're not gonna taste it?
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
You ready for the NFL playoffs?
What you got, Chad?
Let's put cameras on every player. Weather and 4D. Hibachi vendors.
What do you want?
Shrimp. Okay, wait up. So you guys like my ideas?
No.
For the love of football, Derby's Ultra.
Great Friday afternoon to take in some college basketball. The only men's college basketball game in the nation this afternoon until 6 o'clock at least, but we're happy to have you along if you're tuned in, and fans here in the building, if you're wearing Merrimack blue, are happy. That man still looks a little stressed with just under 12 minutes to go. 18-point lead, though.
I think he's got to be thrilled with the way his team has defended throughout this contest. This is a Fairfield team we talked about, comes in averaging over 70 points per game. They've got just 34 points, John. 1 of 15 from beyond the arc are the Stags.
This Merrimack defense, we talk a lot about it, whether it's game to game or just over the course of the season, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're stifling a team completely. Murray there with the block, trying to tip it towards the bench for Clark to run down. Couldn't quite get there.
And I'll say this, Fairfield has not seen this zone. Obviously, it's their first matchup in a long time. None of these two athletes were even born the last time these two teams squared off, but they have had no answers whatsoever for this matchup zone.
48 years ago, by the way. Last time they were in
North
Andover was in the 50s. three missed a lot, except for the backboard by Bergens, but it was a last-second heave there, so shot clock violation is called.
I mean, this is serving notice to the league of what Merrimack is capable of in the MAC. I mean, this is a Fairfield team. You touched on it earlier. They competed and played for the MAC title a year ago. They fell to St. Peter's in the championship game. They actually had a good lead at halftime of that game. St. Peter's got white hot in the second half to earn the conference championship. And you know, Fairfield, I know they lost a lot of players from that group and had a lot of new faces, but this is still a program that's held in very high regard throughout this conference, and Merrimack has just absolutely blitzed them here today.
Yeah, Fairfield came in at 1-1 in conference play. They beat Ryder 78-75 at home, and then they did lose down at Mount St. Mary's 101-94.
The Mount St. Mary's team is playing good basketball.
They were picked near the bottom of the conference, but have been playing much better than maybe some predicted.
They've acquitted themselves very well, and they're certainly a team to watch for. I think we'll keep an eye on. You know, you touched on it. Marist, certainly defending champion. St. Peter's down there in New Jersey. They a lot of pieces back as well. But I'll say this: if Merrimack can stay healthy, and it's a massive if, they have a chance. I really believe they have a chance to really make some noise in this conference, and I know you echo that sentiment as well.
Yeah, 100%. We both are a big fan of the coach, and as we've said, the roster is very well constructed this season. Murray was kind of backwards underneath the basket as he grabbed it. That one just goes off the foot of one of the Fairfield players. They're able to recover. Here's Perry turning on the Jets, and then Murray from behind blocked him. Another one for Murray on Smith. David Murray off the bench providing a spark defensively. Now it's Trumper's turn. Bounce, Murray open, off the glass. He tried to go, but he gets fouled on the way up by Smith. I think the bench was looking for a dunk out of Murray there that time, but he was fouled, and we'll head to the line.
It's a really good defensive play. They're just using his length, those long arms, gets him with the right hand, then comes back up and gets the second one with his left hand. Ambidextrous with the rejections is the transfer making things happen. And I'll tell you, this guy is just fit in beautifully to this Merrimack rotation. His offensive rebounding rate is among the best in the country, and just you talk about a guy who's embraced his role, and Joe Gallo's talked about it with us. Division III guys, Division II guys, right? Matt Beck coming from Southern New Hampshire, David Murray coming from a Division III program, just getting the opportunity, making the most of it. Sean Trumper for Division II Franklin Pierce a year ago, really capitalizing and saying, I've got a chance here, and really making the most of it. It's great to see.
And Murray was a great player for the Camels for 4 years. Here's Smith at the other end. Now he gets fouled by Murray. Murray had the empty trip of the line at the other end. Smith will have a chance to put in a couple free throws here to try to get this back to 20. If there's ever going to be a time to go, it'd be now for Fairfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine a way in which they can erase a 22-point deficit, John, because they've not made shots consistently.
They're shooting.
The only way you can get back into it is by making threes in bunches. They made one today.
28% overall for a team that's normally around 41% from the field. And for three, I mean, they're 1 for 16. So a third of their attempts have come from deep, and they've only made one of those. It doesn't help the other side. You had a red-hot shooter to start the night, or the afternoon, I should say, but as the game has gone on, it's continued to trend in direction for Merrimack, as both free throws are good.
And it's nice to see Merrimack after the break. You know, I thought, how do you gain momentum in a pair of losses? Well, they went to Stanford. They were right there with a Stanford program, an ACC member. Then they went to St. Mary's, a perennial mid-major NCAA tournament team. Had a chance to win that game. And say they went 0-2. Yeah, but those are two great results, and they haven't missed a beat. And Joe Gallo said, there's one thing I was worried about. Clark misses the opportunity for an and one. One thing I was worried about was how would we continue that momentum as 2025 got underway. And John, they've done just that here this afternoon.
I don't know if I can remember a time that they had 15 days between games in my time covering them. I went back a few years, was just trying to look, and they always had a game around the 20th and maybe just before New Year's, 7, 8, 9-day layoff, but 15 days and jump right into conference play, and they look like they've been playing every single night as Clark misses the free throw. It's 3 straight misses at the line for the Warriors.
And again, I'll say this, it's the best time of year to be a student athlete, because you know what? There's no student party.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point.
Not to take anything away, but the academics are hard, right? And that is the focus. And right now, without the second semester having begun in the classroom, these guys are just focusing on basketball, working out, playing, hanging out with friends, all that stuff. Some of the only people on campus, they get to spend time with their friends, play basketball, go to practice, lift, do all those things, just chill. Don't have to worry about the academic component. It's a really fun time of year for these guys to just take advantage and make the most of that opportunity.
That's a great point. Warriors still holding a very comfortable lead of 19 points. Clark with 13 of those. Leading scorer for the Warriors, Devon Savage, 7 made threes, has 21. Clark, oh man, spin cycle there, just a hesitation move on Bergens. It completely left him in the dust.
That is elite from the outstanding sophomore Bud Clark. Wow, that is high-level stop and go there in the painted area.
Just special to watch, that quickness. Here's Smith, trying to work on Etumnu. Smith, tough take, comes up short. Etumnu will grab the miss. They try to trap him on the baseline. He's able to get it to Edmead. Savage, Edmead now.
Thought Brian was going to try to send that down in transition. He was trying to feed Devon for another triple try in the corner.
Edmead, a little bit of a mismatch here. Smith on him, tries to blow by, feeds Etumnu, who handles the pass and has the jam.
This has been just an absolute stomping from early on. I mean, this is a Merrimack team that was ready to go, and they absolutely just blitzed this Fairfield bunch here today.
It's been a clinic. Bergens, maybe a little bit of a push off, but no call, and he misses the mid-range. Ty Dorsett lines up a three, no good.
He's a guy they got to get going. He's talented. He's going to be a great player for this program. He struggled to shoot it in his first year on campus. I'd like to see him get a little confidence here over the last 7+ minutes.
And we saw him in that first game we did here at home earlier this season, where he came out, he knocked down a couple shots. He thought maybe that would start to get him a little bit settled in, but he's certainly been a consistent part of the rotation, but you're still kind of waiting for him to find his offensive game here at this level.
Yeah, I think he's going to pop at some point, just getting used to the speed of playing high-level college basketball.
Etumnu again! Grown man jam on the feed from Edmead.
I know Brian gets the eyeballs, but that little pocket pass from Malik Edmead was NBA-level stuff there. He fit that into a window that was not much bigger than the size of the basketball, John.
Etumnu has been the beneficiary of a few of these nice feeds tonight. Here's a fadeaway at the free throw line from Rogan. He pours it in. Fairfield at the 40-point mark now, but again, 23-point deficit, 6.5 to go. I mean, just can't imagine a scenario and at this point, the way things have gone and the way they're trending, that they're going to be able to make up a deficit like this.
And you're going to see this the rest of the way. No 5-second closely guarded call anymore, and Bud can just do this. I mean, you're going to have to send a secondary defender to get the ball out of his hands.
So patient. It's exploding again now, back inside. Can't finish this time, ends up on the deck. Fairfield,
frustrating, missed that opportunity, John.
He's missed a couple tonight or this afternoon, I should say, that you'd normally think that he would make, but still having a great game. And Mead almost got pulled down to the ground. Mead on a drive, back out. Etumnu going to try his luck on a three, but it's not going to matter. Mead will get called for the offensive foul. And with 5:42 left, Merrimack has had no resistance this afternoon. Brian Etumnu doing his best on the throwdown opportunities. 23-point lead for Merrimack.
The tradespeople in our life.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
Do you mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work, dedication.
The Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career? Can that have to be
bank guy? Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
Mufasa the Lion King is the #1 movie in the world 2 weeks in a row.
I like that.
It's a dazzling prequel for the whole family
I couldn't have said it better myself.
that roars to life with fun.
Well played, kitty cat.
Disney's Mufasa the Lion King.
That looks good.
Rated PG.
Why would I use Hims to have my ED meds delivered to my door? I love pharmacy lines.
Why would I use clinically proven ingredients to regrow my hair through Hims? I love wearing hats 24/7.
Why would I choose weight loss treatment I can afford through Hims? I love selling off my prized possessions.
Why wouldn't I get high quality care I can trust? I love Hims.
Get treatment you'll actually love at hims.com.
Okay, I'm gonna help you clean it, all right?
Got it. It's tasty. You're not gonna taste it?
Back inside Lawler Arena, John Avino and Jacob Van Ryan here with you Friday afternoon. Standalone opportunity for us, and here's what's upcoming for the Warriors. They'll be down at Sacred Heart next weekend against the other team from Fairfield, Connecticut, and then Manhattan will be here next weekend on Sunday afternoon. We're excited for that one.
We are, yes. That'll be fun. Take on the Jaspers. And then game against Quinnipiac, which many people think certainly one of the top teams coming into the season. They thought had a chance to win this conference with the returning talent that they brought back, the Bobcats.
Yeah, they were picked preseason #1.
At some point we gotta make a trip.
Yeah.
We'll go to a road game.
I've been trying to get Nick to send us on the road with the radio equipment, but, you know.
Nobody wants that.
Oh, you mean as like a fan?
I want to go as a fan.
Let's go as a fan.
Yeah,
Connecticut's not too far away.
No, that's what I'm saying. We didn't get the invite to go to California.
We did not.
A little bit bitter about that. I would have sucked that up, that's for sure.
Maybe next year.
Would have persevered through that trip. Our guy Nick Pencala, the outstanding communications leader here, gets to go to Ireland, the hockey team, and California. You say, how was your trip? And he says, which trip?
Yeah, which one?
Living good, my man.
Yeah.
Special shout out to Drew Kingsley, the crew down there at Fairfield as well. Good people. Glad to know him and the outstanding job in providing for us coming into today's game.
Yes, they did. And talked to Coach Case earlier this week, and he told us about the travel plans. They got in yesterday, but you've mentioned a couple times they actually had some issues this morning with the bus breaking down at the hotel.
Honestly, in all seriousness, I hope the bus has been fixed.
Yeah,
and can get home safely. No jest there whatsoever. That's frustrating.
Ended up Ubering to the arena today, which it's not as bad as Ubering from Fairfield, Connecticut, obviously, but still not ideal. And yeah, you said it. They're gonna have to make a trip home. So Merrimack in control of this one. So that one goes through the hands of Itumi, a little hot on the feed from Admead up high. Savage and Clark will pop off the bench here as they come in.
A few things that coaches hate more than to be thrown out of the rhythm when something like that happens, right? Creatures of habit, get everything down to the minute in terms of pregame prep on the road especially, and that happens, and all of a sudden your daily routine is sort of thrown a little bit sideways.
Coaches and players, both creatures of habit when it comes to making sure their timing rituals before games are set and pretty standard. Another takeaway there on the drive attempt. Clark that has a poke from behind by Johnson, so trading turnovers. Bergens bounces one into Johnson. Prophet Johnson off the glass he goes. All 8 of his points have been here in the second half. Leading scorer, averaging 12 a game this year for Fairfield.
Fairfield's got to go back to the drawing board and say, all right, what works for us and what doesn't? They need to get organized. You take a look at Bud's line, which looks pretty good for him on paper. That's sort of worse than his season's averages. It speaks to the level at which he's been playing, but he's been in control and orchestrating this offense beautifully.
Gets into the painted area. Another rare miss for him in that closely. He thought maybe he got hit. No call. Matt Curtis into the game, taking a chance or a shot here for Fairfield. No good on the three-point attempt. Bud, this time, gets down to the rim, gets hit, and finishes. And he's saying, I had gotten hit last time, too. but he'll have a chance for 18 points now in the afternoon with the three-point play. But not before we take our final media timeout of the afternoon. Bud Clark doing Bud Clark things, 17 points, 5 assists for the sophomore.
The tradespeople in our lives power the things we use in our home every day. At 128, we know how important it is to have your lights on, hot water in the shower, heat in the winter, and air conditioning in the summer. Our team of professionals is here to rely on. Plug into our membership for priority scheduling, smart home, remote monitoring, and of course, our seasonal maintenance. We'd love to be the company that powers your home. Book with us today at call128.com.
Hey, what's up, roomie? I got us some Jersey Mike subs.
Danny DeVito? Are you my freshman roommate?
And that doesn't matter. This is a Jersey Mike's commercial where the subs matter most. I mean, look how big that is. We'd eat that for lunch and for dinner. Hey, we eat that. Hey, who let the rents in? You want a Jersey Mike's?
Introduce us to your new roommate.
Mom, it's Danny DeVito.
That's mine. Don't touch it. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
It's a good day to show off your swing all year long. It's a good day for a very special event. It's a good day to savor the moment. Join as a member or book your event at Haverhill Country Club and make any day a good day.
It's Jacob's favorite time of the game. It's today's strong move of the game presented by Hercules Tire. So we take a look at this takeaway and
this is the transition opportunity for Matt Becht, and what I love here is to see Trumper. That's a shot attempt for Matt Becht right there, and he recognized, hey, this guy running in back of me is a man named Devon Savage, and he's got 5 made already. That was his 6th of the game on his way before he knocked down 1 since. He's got 7, tying his career high. Our Hercules strong move of the game. Outstanding pass from Becht to Savage as Merrimack on their way to improving to 3-0 in conference play.
Well, he looks pretty happy, Devon Savage, and I would be too, matching career high with 7 made 3-pointers. 4 in the first half, 3 in the second half. That man looks poised to move to 3-0. I know.
We get a smile when it's still time on the clock.
A couple of rare smiles from Joe Gallo today.
Things are going well as he talks with Evan Burrows. Done a good job on this crew today.
It was funny, the shot we had going out to the break was Bud Clark talking to Evan Burrows about that previous attempt that he thought he got fouled on, and Joe Gallo just kind of standing there as an innocent third-party bystander.
Just listening intently, right?
Those are the kinds of conversations that when you're Bud Clark, you're happy to have them when you're up 20 in the game, because it's, you know, okay, I think I got fouled there, but those are the ones that are a little bit more intense when it's a closer game.
And Fairfield not calling off the dogs here. Getting a little full court pressure, trying to trap in the backcourt, turn the Warriors over.
Warriors still running their starting group out there with 3 minutes to go, up 20. Becht out to Clark. Tumnu comes up to set the screen. Clark on the drive, stops mid-range, lost the defender, and can't make the shot. Johnson in transition after the rebound is able to go coast to coast and finish.
I think Braden Sparks, when he said he fell to the deck, I think something happened as he was hobbling down the floor in transition there.
Yeah, the timeout was called not by a team, but by the ref.
This is a good safety issue. There's no reason, especially with the score being what it is, say, hey, let's freeze things right here. Let's make sure he's okay.
See him flexing.
I'll tell you, our crew
lower
has done
body
a
area.
Spectacular job today with some of the visuals we've gotten. Good work by our entire production crew here today, and I hope that Braden Sparks is able to certainly walk off on his own power, which he will. They'll take a look at him. It's certainly something went a little awry as he was trying to defend Bud Clark at the other end.
Our crew led by Tom Castanova today.
Finally got a good producer.
Oh man, I don't think Jared's going to like that one. I know Tom does though, so.
Jared, we love you, my man. It's great crew. Yeah, we love doing these games, and it's listen, people wonder, like, when you do these games, does it really matter? You get to watch wins like this. It's a lot of fun, and this is a Merrimack team that's going to win a lot of games this year in the MAC, assuming the people stay healthy and stay in the right direction.
You said it earlier, and you know, we know that Fairfield has got a lot of new faces this year, but this is still going to maybe put the rest of the conference on notice a little bit.
This is a result that, especially you talked about, the only game going on. I assume a lot of coaches, preparing for practices and games later today, whatnot, probably had on in the background and say, what's the score? Wait, they're up by, what's the number now? It's 14, now it's 20? Oh, I don't know if I want any part of that.
Trumper on the pump. Lead is down to 16 at this point. And there's a foul call that goes against Rogan. It'll be the 7th team foul for Fairfield, so Trumper's got 1-1 upcoming.
Trumper's been quiet today. They really haven't needed his scoring punch. He's been really, he's sort of been their second, scorer for the better part of the season in terms of consistency. Obviously, Devon's had some huge games along the way, as Matt Becht and Brian Atumnu as well, but Sean Trumper's not really looked to assert himself on the offensive end because, quite frankly, they haven't needed him to.
He's had some big games so far, and I think the thing about him that Joe Gallo likes, and I think that we are both appreciative too, is that he's willing to do pretty much anything out there.
Well, and this is the Division II to Division I mindset, right? And this is the opportunity to go up the ladder as opposed to taking a guy from, let's say, a mid-major or a higher program. Like, hey, I'm the guy, I got to get 20 shots a night. Right, this is the guy in Sean Trumper, averaged 18 points per game, was an all-conference performer for Franklin Pierce in the Northeast 10 a year ago, and now, as you said, he scores 1 point or 20 points as long as the result's in the right column. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, and he's got that mentality of he can do pretty much anything out there as well. He can knock down some deep shots. He can take away the ball. He's got 3 steals here today. So get another made shot at the other end there by Mancati, excuse me. And Meade and Dorsett checked into the last whistle.
He's missed some opportunities, but Mancati has looked good for them in the starting opportunity today. I've liked his energy, John, at both ends of the floor.
You feel like with his size, he could be a guy that can certainly give them a different option out there. Meade is just winding down this clock. Now under 10 on the shot clock, under a minute to go in the game. And Meade on the drive, floats it way up and over, and hopefully everybody's okay as he toppled over one of our camera friends down there, not on our broadcast, but one of our friends that's got some expensive equipment down there on the sidelines.
And on a swivel down there, you're going to be close to the action. That's dangerous times. And Malik, good to see him hop up okay. You talked about he's been a guy who's dealt with injuries throughout his career. Now you're seeing some different faces come in for Merrimack, guys getting opportunities we don't often see, which is great. There's a look at our, hey, look at that. Thumbs up, all right,
Everything's
good job.
okay.
I love it.
Second appearance of the season for Christian Foy. Armandus Plantauskas checked in as well.
Need to stop here, John.
To the rim they go. It's Johnson, and not able to finish, but he will head to the line. Foul will go against Itumnu, the last remaining starter out there for the Warriors.
John's chomping at the bit for a couple other guys to get into the game for the first time. There are a couple other reserves that Merrimack could use, but you do see a lot of the starting 5 out there remaining for Fairfield, including the gentleman at the free throw line.
This might be as much about just having a consistent finish to the game and anything else. Obviously, it's trimmed down a little bit now from where it was a few moments ago.
It's also by virtue of the fact they don't play for a week, so you're not thinking about a game on Sunday as a traditional max scheduling, whatnot.
Dorsett inbounds here, still 7 seconds between the shot and game clock. Dorsett. Meade just going to stand on the logo here, dribble this down quite a bit.
Johnson's still defending him like this is a one-point affair.
Yeah, they're having a little fun out there, making sure they play defense down to the wire. Over to Dorsett. Might we get one more opportunity for him here. Fade away, mid-range, and it doesn't go down. Rebound scampered 2 by Johnson. Final seconds. Gives it up to Bergens, and there will be one final whistle here. Christian Foy committing the foul from behind, but it will be on the floor, and there will not be a 1-and-1 situation. It's just an inbound left for Fairfield with 0.1 seconds left, or 0.1 second, I should say. And that's it. Merrimack is 3-0 in the MAC. A little bit closer finish than it once was. 25 points, the largest lead for Merrimack at one.